to you all from a new day of the Russia-Ukraine war. As the pioneer, we continue to keep the Russia-Ukraine war on the agenda and bring you the latest developments. In a moment, we will convey to you the developments on the latest day of Russia-Ukraine war. According to the latest reports, the Ukrainian army's counterattack operations have lost momentum. There is a very important reasons for this. Among these reasons are the decrease in the support from the West and the approaching winter conditions in Ukraine. Even if Ukrainian army's counteroffensive operations have slowed down, attempts to advance at many points continue. We know that this war will continue until the Ukrainian army liberates the Crimean peninsula. Therefore, regardless of the conditions, Ukrainian troops are trying to continue their offensive, especially on the Zaporizhia front line. So, what is the latest situation on the front line? Let's analyze the developments together. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss the daily map reports and the agenda reports prepared by the Pioneer team. I also read all the comments you make about our content. Please continue to express your opinion about our content in the comments. This will help us keep ourselves up to date. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. As I told you in our previous reports, we know that the Ukrainian army is trying to expand the line of the fire on the Zaporizhia front line. According to the latest reports, this work of the Ukrainian army continues. Ukrainian troops continue to expand the front in the direction of Nestryanka. We have stated in our previous reports that there is a large Russian defense fortifications in Nestryanka direction. The Russians have really done a very successful job here. The big defense line is currently the biggest target of the Ukrainian army. Ukrainian troops want to break through the defense fortifications here. What advantage will the Ukrainian army gain if this defense line is breached? First of all, we need to remember the objectives of the Ukrainian army in the direction of Kopani. The Ukrainian army was continuing its attacks on Novoprokopivka in the Roboty region and south of Roboty. The successes of the Ukrainian army in Nestryanka will give the Ukrainian army a very important advantage in these areas. Therefore, the Ukrainian war headquarters attach great importance to Nestryanka. Moreover, the victory of the Ukrainian troops in Nestryanka will lead to the disintegration of the Russian positions on the other front lines. The strong fortifications in the area are important not only for the Russian troops in the Nestryanka region, but also for the Russian troops in other regions. Thanks to shipments from the region, a large number of Russian positions are holding out. If the units of the armed forces of Ukraine can advance here, I can say that here could be a turning point on the Zaporizhia front line. This was the latest situation in the Robotny sector on the Zaporizhia front line. Mutual attacks of artillery units are also continuing in the region. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units are attacking the logistic lines of the Ukrainian army in Novodanilovka and Malaya Tokmakcha. However, so far, Russian troops have not achieved any results from these attacks. Ukrainian artillery units responded to the attacks of the Russian artillery units by hitting Nestryanka, Slata-Balka, Ichenko, Novopokrovka, Romanovsky, and Novofedorovka. I would like to continue our report by analyzing the latest developments in the Wuhldar sector of the Zaporizhia front line. First, let's see the area on the map from a wide angle. According to the latest reports, in the Wuhldar section of the Zaporizhia front line, Russian troops are making a very intense effort to seize the initiative, especially in the Priyodny region. According to the information we have obtained from local sources, Russian infantry units, which continue their attacks on the region, are trying to advance with the support of the Russian artillery. We can say that the defensive fortifications of the Ukrainian army in this region are similar to the Russian defensive fortifications in Nestryanka. Ukrainian positions in the Priyodny area are constantly shelled by Russian artillery. A large number of artillery shells fall on the Ukrainian positions every minute. Despite the intensive shelling, Ukrainian troops have so far held their positions. In addition, Russian troops continue their furious attacks on the Ukrainian positions in the Novodonetsk region. According to the latest reports, Russian infantry units, supported by the Russian Air Force, are trying to advance in the Novodonetsk region. However, so far, Russian troops have not achieved any results from these attempts. In fact, according to the latest reports of the local sources, Russian troops faced heavy losses during these attacks in the region. In this area too, there is an intense struggle between the artillery units of the two armies. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery shelled positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in Stromayorsk, Yorkhain and Vodyatny. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery shelled positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in Stromayorsk, Yorkhain and Vodyatny. Ukrainian artillery units responded to these attacks by striking Russian positions in Volodny, Zaporizhia, Stromerlinka, Novodonetsk and Novomairovsk. Now let's continue our daily map reports by analyzing the latest developments on the Donetsk front line. We see that the Russian Air Force has been in intense activity in the region in recent days. Let's remember what happened in the past. The Russian army had tried to advance in the region with the ground attacks for a long time. However, during these attacks, the Russian army could not make any gains. Therefore, Russian troops in the region are now trying to advance with the support of the Russian Air Force. According to the latest reports, the traditional Russian Maryanka operation continued today. Also, in the Novomikhailovka region, the attacks of the Russian infantry continued with the support of the Russian Air Force. However, during these attacks, Russian troops had to retreat without achieving any results. There is also an intense attack of Russian troops in the Krasnohorivka region. In this region, Russian forces are also achieved a partial victory. Part of the Ukrainian troops retreated. The withdrawal of the Ukrainian troops here is quite logical because the increasing pressure of the Russian Air Force could have caused heavy losses to the Ukrainian army. Instead, a tactical withdrawal is more logical for the Ukrainian army. Let's also talk about the artillery attacks. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units targeted Ukrainian positions in the direction of Antonovka and Avdiivka. Ukrainian artillery, in turn, hit Horlivka and Donetsk. We continue our report with the Bakhmut front line. In fact, not much has changed in the region from yesterday to today. Russian troops continue to attack the railway line in the Andriivka region. According to the latest reports, Russian troops in the region launched furious attacks. These attacks were successfully repelled by the Ukrainian defense forces. Later, Ukrainian troops mobilized and started to pursue the Russian troops. However, this was stopped after a while. Russian troops were forced to retreat to their former positions. Let's conclude our report by mentioning the artillery activity in the region. According to the latest reports, Russian artillery units targeted Ukrainian positions in the direction of Andriivka and Klishchivka. The Ukrainian army responded by striking Russian positions in Ozarinivka, Kordomoivka, Bakhmut city center, and Yahidny. What do you think? Do you think the West will continue to support Ukraine? How will the war shape up if no new support comes? How do you assess the current situation on the Zaporizhia front line? Do you think the Ukrainian army will expand the front line in the Nestryanka area? Let me know in the comments. I read and I care about all your comments.